Are you absolutely furious with what you're witnessing from the Calgary Flames right now? Just last season, they were knocking on the door of the playoffs, a team with grit, determination, and a clear vision. Fast forward to today, and they're not just struggling. They're in a full-blown nightmare, languishing at the very bottom of the NHL standings. How on earth did a team with so much promise take such a catastrophic step backward? And what, if anything, can be done to pull them out of this alarming tailspin? Tonight, we're not just lamenting their woes. We're exploring a potential lifeline, a trade pitch that could inject some much-needed skill and hope into a franchise desperately searching for answers. Let's not mince words. The start of the 2025-26 season has been nothing short of a disaster for the Calgary Flames. Their record stands at a dismal 4-9-2, leaving them with a paltry 8 points and firmly entrenched at the very bottom of the entire National Hockey League. This isn't just a slow start. It's a full-blown collapse, especially when you consider that this is a team that narrowly missed the playoffs just a year ago. The expectation was, at the very least, a competitive fight for a postseason berth, a continuation of the upward trajectory. Instead, what we've seen is a precipitous decline, a team that looks lost, disjointed, and, most critically, utterly devoid of consistent offense. And that, my friends, is the crux of their problem: a severe, debilitating lack of offense. The Flames have managed to score a meager 36 goals this season. Let that sink in for a moment. 36 goals. That places them firmly in the bottom tier of the entire league, a statistic that screams for immediate intervention. You simply cannot win in today's NHL if you can't put the puck in the net, and the Flames are proving that painful truth night after night. Their power play looks anemic. Their 5-on-5 production is virtually non-existent, and the once feared Flames attack has become a shadow of its former self. This isn't a minor tweak situation. This is a fundamental flaw that needs to be addressed with urgency and precision. It's a problem that has a fan base tearing its hair out. And frankly, it's a problem that General Manager Craig Conroy cannot afford to ignore any longer. And to his credit, it appears Conroy is not sitting idly by, watching his team sink further into the abyss. The whispers from around the league are growing louder, confirming what many of us suspected. The Flames are actively on the hunt for forward help. NHL insider Pierre LeBrun, during a recent episode of TSN Insider Trading, shed some crucial light on the situation, stating, and I quote, "There's a lot of frustration with the Flames organization about their lack of scoring. Frankly, it's not a new problem. They were 29th in scoring a year ago, so it's a problem that continues. GM Craig Conroy isn't sitting on his hands. He is making calls and exploring the trade market, trying to find out what exactly is available out there that can potentially help his team offensively. Easier said than done. We are so early in the season. Teams normally aren't ready to engage in this type of activity yet until U.S. Thanksgiving, but certainly Calgary is trying to get an early look at what's out there." LeBrun's report paints a clear picture. The Flames are desperate, and they're willing to be aggressive, even at this early stage of the season, to find a solution. The urgency is palpable, and the pressure on Conroy to make a move that can spark this dormant offense is immense. But who is out there? Who could realistically be acquired without mortgaging the future? And more importantly, who can actually make a difference? This brings us to a fascinating trade pitch that has emerged from heavy sports, one that suggests a potential lifeline for Flames in the form of a skilled forward from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Nick Robertson. The proposed deal is surprisingly straightforward, and perhaps surprisingly achievable. Calgary Flames get Nick Robertson. Toronto Maple Leafs get a 2027 third-round pick. Now, on the surface, some might say, Nick Robertson? Is that really the game changer Flames need? And while he might not be the flashiest blockbuster acquisition, he represents a young, skilled forward with proven ability to put the puck in the net, and crucially, he comes at a relatively low cost. This isn't about acquiring a superstar. It's about adding a piece that fits a specific need, a player who can contribute immediately and potentially thrive with a change of scenery. So, who exactly is Nick Robertson, and why should the Flames be interested? At 24 years old, Robertson is a dynamic, offensively minded winger who has shown flashes of significant potential throughout his career. Last season, he set a career high with 15 goals in 69 games, a respectable total that demonstrates his scoring touch. More recently, he's been on a hot streak, recording 2 goals and 5 points in his last 4 games, indicating that his offensive instincts are sharp and he's finding ways to contribute. What he brings is speed, a quick release, and a willingness to drive to the net, all attributes that are sorely lacking in the Flames' current offensive arsenal. He's the kind of player who can create his own opportunities or capitalize on those created by others. He's not a hulking power forward, but he plays with an edge and isn't afraid to go to the dirty areas. For a Flames team that is struggling to generate any kind of consistent pressure or finish, Robertson could be a breath of fresh air, a player who could provide secondary scoring and add some much-needed pace to their attack. He could slot into their middle six, immediately bolstering their second or third line, and potentially finding chemistry with players who are also looking for a spark. But why would the Maple Leafs be willing to part with a skilled young forward like Robertson? Well, the truth is, questions about Robertson's future in Toronto have been swirling for quite some time, and those whispers have only intensified this season. NHL insider Elliotte Friedman, in his recent 32 Thoughts column, reported that the Maple Leafs are still investigating options with Robertson. Friedman specifically noted, at some point in the summer, they pitched a move for Yegor Chinnikov, but that wasn't the Blue Jackets' liking. This tells us a few things. First, Toronto has been actively exploring trade possibilities for Robertson, indicating that he might not be a long-term fit in their plans, or perhaps they're looking to free up a roster spot or cap space. Second, the fact that they were willing to move him for a player like Chinnikov suggests they're not necessarily looking for a massive return, but rather a strategic move. A 2027 third-round pick, while not a king's ransom, is a decent asset for a player who might be on the outside looking in, especially for a team like the Leafs who are always managing their cap and roster composition. For Toronto, it's a chance to recoup an asset for a player who hasn't quite solidified a consistent top six role, and to potentially open up opportunities for other prospects or future acquisitions. So, when you weigh all the factors, this trade pitch starts to look incredibly compelling for both sides, but especially for the Calgary Flames. For Calgary, it's a low-risk, high-reward move. A third-round pick in 2027 is a future asset, and while valuable, it's a small price to pay for a player who can immediately address their most glaring weakness: scoring. Robertson isn't a guaranteed superstar, but he's a proven NHL scorer with upside, and a change of scenery could be exactly what he needs to fully tap into his potential. He could provide that much-needed jolt to a struggling offense, offering a new dynamic and a legitimate scoring threat in their middle six. For the Maple Leafs, it's a chance to gain a future draft pick for a player who's been in and out of their lineup and who they've clearly been shopping. It allows them to streamline their roster and potentially create flexibility for other moves down the line. In a league where every roster spot and every asset counts, this would be a smart piece of business for Toronto. The Flames are in dire straits, and sitting on their hands is no longer an option. This isn't a trade that will single-handedly turn their season around, but a tangible step, a strategic acquisition that addresses a critical need with a skilled, young player who could flourish in a new environment. It's a move that signals intent, a move that says, we're not giving up on this season, and we're actively working to improve. What do you think? Is Nick Robertson the right fit for the Calgary Flames? Would a 2027 third-round pick be a fair price for the Maple Leafs? We've broken down the situation, the player, and the potential implications. Now, we want to hear from you. This is a pivotal moment for the Calgary Flames, and a potential trade like this could set the tone for the rest of their season. Do you believe this move makes sense for both teams? Or do you think the Flames should be aiming for a bigger fish? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Your insights are always invaluable. And if you found this analysis insightful and engaging, please give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us continue to bring you the most in-depth and exclusive sports news and analysis. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time with more breaking news and analysis.